11th, 2017, and my name is Leslie Williams. Now, before I get into the subject matter of this video, I'm going to have to basically do my my ritual that I do in every video that I make. As a result of me being an organized stalking, gang stalking target individual, is prudent, cautious, and strategic, necessarily, for me to make these initial statements in my videos because of being a gang stalking victim. So just bear with me, and then I will get immediately into the subject matter concerning what this video is about. Now, if at any time this video stops while I'm in the middle of talking, if it freezes, okay, still research what I stated up to that point, and also what's incorporated within the title of this Periscope video. I think you will be aware of how to gain access to what is incorporated within the title of this Periscope video by and through getting out a piece of paper, a pen, writing down the URL characters, okay, of the two YouTube links that are in the title of this Periscope video, and then typing them in at your URL address bar. Hit enter, and you will be able to bring these videos up. Now, what I did, well, before I get into the subject matter, let me make these statements. My name is Leslie Williams. I am in La Jolla, California, which is in San Diego County. I am a target victim and activist concerning the continued criminal expeditions of what is known as organized stalking, which can also be termed as gang stalking. Periodically throughout this video, I'm going to have to turn the phone around to make sure I'm still live broadcasting, and I am aware in a few of my videos that when I do that, the phone will make a loud noise. I guess it's because of where the speaker's located at, so I'm going to start trying to be more gentle concerning that. So I apologize if at any moment in any of my prior Periscope videos it was hard for me to make. It was hard for you to hear what I was stating as I was moving my phone, but I've become completely aware that that's occurring, so I will do my best to try and make sure that I'm not talking when I move my phone. Okay, now, fellow American citizens, if anybody comes on this property or props themselves up anywhere around this property while I am making this video, will it be because of gang stalking? So let's see if that occurs. If anybody claims they heard me, saw my property while I'm on this property at any time in the next 72 hours, will it be because of gang stalking? If anybody comes on this property when I am away from it and props themselves up on it and starts camping out, or if anybody comes on this property and starts doing any work, or takes down anything that I propped up in order to try and seclude myself from being able to be seen visually, it will be because of gang stalking. Now, fellow American citizens, I strongly suggest that you go into this Periscope account and research as many videos as you possibly can over time. I'm aware that you can't do it immediately and watch all my videos in one day, but you better start researching what I'm exposing. For one, I'm running out of time, okay? They are escalating their campaign towards me in San Diego County. The police and the courts and the district attorney's office and the prosecutor's office and the public defender's office and the California Attorney General, they're nothing but absolute organized crime criminals, period, end of story. Flat out. So, and then when you look at the federal perpetration of this crime, which is all over the internet being exposed, I think that we can at any and all times eventually conclude that a homeless person that they created the homelessness of, okay, pertaining to the perpetrators in the government who are responsible for the crime that's happening to me and my fellow target individuals, they have complete control over our lives. And that includes our eventual freedom and our finances. Now, so how much power do you really think that a homeless person has, okay, who's being gang stalked on a fever scale, who is an extremely, extremely sensitive whistleblower? I strongly suggest you go to my blog, which is attached to my Twitter account, that Twitter account being at HIGGINSGGGG, that's one word. Exposing Truth is the name of the account, and the blog is attached to the profile of it. I strongly suggest you also dissect and review every single thing in that blog and follow all instructions. Do not ever assume that that blog is about, that the entire blog is about harassment. The harassment exposed in that blog is being exposed so you can see the duration of the crime happening to me, the fact that it's happening to me, okay, and the fact that and who's playing a role in it and who's protecting it. But by no means in any way, shape, or form are you to believe that the harassment is what the blog is about. That's the minor issue. And understand this as well. When you start you start observing the extremely sensitive material in that blog and how it relates to me, I want you to also understand, because when you see those depth, width, and scope of that, your jaw is going to drop. It's literally going to drop, flat out, indisputably. And your worldview will change forever, literally. Okay? That statement's not being made because of emotionalism or because I'm pissed off because I'm a victim of an extreme crime. I'm stating it because it's a fact. So when you witness what's in that blog, you will understand. Now, the reason why I brought that up is because when you see what's in this blog, you're not only going to walk away and say this woman is absolutely a victim of this crime, including concerning the duration of this crime in reference to what's exposed concerning the duration of how long I've been a victim of this crime within the blog, but understand and know this. What I know is what I really know is not in the blog. Okay? Most of what I know I can't prove, but it actually occurred. Absolutely. And the perpetrators know I know it. Absolutely, absolutely. So, fellow American citizens, due to what is not in that blog, and because of the extreme sensitive issues and responsible agencies, okay, that were responsible concerning what I know, okay, you better be damn sure that they got power over the Department of Education, which my school loans, which were illegally cohorts for me to take out, are going to be used to entrap me, okay? So make no mistake about it. They're going to use it to target my finances. Also, it strongly appears that I am being victimized right now and possibly have been for at least maybe up to a year of identity theft and didn't know it. So let's see if that is ever used again to try and say that I'm responsible for it and then take my finances that are on my person at that moment in time, which can happen at any time. Because these are wild, filthy, criminally insane, organized crime members in the system who are committing these crimes, okay, and then trying to make it appear that you're responsible for them, and then we'll go after your money. And the reason why that's being done is to completely put you in extreme destitution so that can be monopolized on, because they know that everybody's got to eat, sleep, and get around. Okay. Now, they already created the homelessness of me, so the finances are next. I already know that for a fact. Hold on. Absolutely, absolutely. And the student loan coercion will be used for debt bondage, for slavery, either through human trafficking in jails, detention centers, group homes, or actual street human trafficking. So pay attention to what's going on with me. Now, I also woke up today and discovered that one of my computers is not operating. So let's just see if it maybe somehow the battery got accidentally discharged or whatever. I'll find out about that tomorrow when I go to plug it in. All right, so those statements had to be made. If you don't know anything about gang stalking, research it extensively at Google and YouTube extensively, and you will come to understand truth eventually. And you better research this crime, because I don't make these videos because it's just an everyday crime that you might hear about on the news or in the newspapers. I strongly suggest with every fiber of my being that you research these crimes extensively and exhaustively. Absolutely. Now, what did I incorporate within the title of this Periscope video? This video is going to be one of the most important videos I've ever made, and it might possibly end up being a lawyer video. So pay close attention to all statements. Now, what I incorporated within the title of this YouTube video, within the title of this Periscope video, but this is also going to be made into a Periscope YouTube video if it gets saved in my gallery, which is supposed to. A few times it has not, and so that's the reason why I stated that. So, I'm talking about my gallery application on my phone. Okay, so what I incorporated within the title of this Periscope video are two YouTube links. One is a pretty good video, and that video is in reference to the video that's over an hour. It's like an hour and 43 minutes long. It's a very good video. Okay, the video doesn't talk about heterodyning or brain entrainment. It might actually mention it, but it does not expand on it. But it is an absolute excellent video that introduces you to things that are factually occurring to hundreds of thousands. And when I mean hundreds of thousands of Americans, you need to really look at that statement, because when you hear of that, you might think to yourself, well, okay, hundreds of thousands isn't millions. Well, what do you think a million is composed of? Hundreds of thousands. So since we don't have an absolute accurate number, we already, extremely educated target individuals do know that there are millions of gang stalking victims, in the United States. But since we don't have an actual physical number us extremely educated, okay, and experienced targeted individuals know that it is in the millions, so we just end up saying hundreds of thousands. Some of my videos I've just said thousands and thousands. So just understand. Now, before I continue, this crime is the main crime that is exposed on the internet. Now, when you look at the fact that the internet is worldwide, that should give you a sniff, a smell of how prevalent these criminal expeditions are. Okay, so the first video is a video that literally gives you an extremely very good introduction concerning gang stalking, but mostly the technological crimes that can be attached to it. So I strongly suggest you listen to every single description, write them down, okay, and exhaustively research each one. The second video is a video that I made that indisputably proves remote neural monitoring is occurring, and it absolutely in your face directly implicates DARPA because of what's in it, what's exposed, how I explain it, and the cooperating material that's attached with it. Paybacks are a bitch. No matter what, see, I look at it this way: they're gonna do what they're gonna do to me, whether I fight back and win, whether I fight back and lose. The day I end up dead, I already know they'll be probably responsible for it. Okay, and I will be probably so destitute, okay, to where I'll probably be walking around for months with the same clothes, with no money in my pocket, with no transportation cards, probably no social services or social security benefits. I already know that's where they plan on taking me, okay, and possibly even group homes. These filthy maggots are nothing but a bunch of sadistic, absolute, criminally insane, demented animals, and that's all they are, flat out. Period. End of story. And that is all they will literally ever be. Okay. So you keep that in mind, and you will understand my statements as you research what I expose. Now, what is this video about? It's not just about what I incorporated within the title of this Periscope video, which is going to blow your mind. Okay. But you also need to pay attention also to my other Periscope videos, and the reason why I'm additionally bringing that up is because in a lot of my other Periscope videos, within their titles, are excellent links as well. So do what I tell you to do. Okay. Now, what is the actual motivation of this particular video? I want you to listen to me very carefully and listen to me and research everything that I state. And I'm going to give you every description that I throw out there, like when I say go to YouTube and type in "Learning Disabled Woman Exposes the Gang Stalking of Police Officers." That is one of a two-part video series. And I want you to listen to me concerning that as well. When I made those videos, I believe it was back in 2015, and I might have made an update one in late 2015, the second one. Okay. Additional information has came out on the internet corroborating my statements that I made in those two videos. Those additional links that came out to corroborate my statements that I made in those videos, literally actual articles that are online that literally corroborate and validate what I was stating in those videos, came out after I made them. Now, some of those updated links have been incorporated within my blog right underneath or above the YouTube video that is titled "Learning Disabled Woman Exposes the Gang Stalking of Police Officers." Now, fellow American citizens, if you have been staying tuned to my videos on at least Periscope, and if you've reviewed anything in my blogs, I'm sure that you have noticed me absolutely call the police concerning this crime nothing but criminally insane animals, because that's what they are. But I am referring to the ones that are involved in this crime. I'm not referring to the average cop who's getting up every day, who joined the force to do good, and, concerning his intention in his heart and his mind. I'm not talking about the police officer who maybe has been using his crimes and didn't have a clue. Okay. I'm not talking about the police officer who gets up every day and puts on their badge and has a cup of coffee and goes to work every day and just, tries to fight crime and tries to do better things for our community. In no way, in shape, or form am I referring to those police officers, because those police officers do deserve our respect. Absolutely. What I am referring to when I say the criminally insane, filthy, criminally insane, absolutely wild animal police officers that are connected to this crime is in reference to the ones who are, and that includes the higher echelons as well. Now, when you become a victim of this crime, especially at the extreme levels that some of us targeted individuals are being, concerning how much of it is being perpetrated against us, it flat out absolutely includes extreme neurological and biological manipulation and torture. You can go to YouTube at any time and type in Timothy W. bioethics issues. There were hundreds of videos of gang-stalking victims testifying before the President Obama's Bioethics Commission. Every single one of them is going to talk about being tortured and experimented on. So if this was happening to you, and then you, and while you're going through this, you were subjected to massive constitutional rights violations, massive civil rights violations, massive human rights violations, and massive state, county, and local government, penal, and civil code violations through the police and the courts, do you honestly think that you would not have any special feelings concerning any police officer or department that is perpetrated and assisted in these criminal realities, and as a result keeps you in the continued victimization, which continues, which eventually leads up either to your death, your incarceration, your all the future exploitations, okay, and the complete destruction of every aspect of your freedom and personal life? Do you honestly think that we would not have any special feelings concerning these wild, controlled, criminally insane animals? Of course you wouldn't. Anybody in their right mind would. So, I made those videos, though, concerning the gang stalking of police officers for the ones who don't know what's going on. Because also police officers can be victimized with these crimes. But the reason why, another equally important reason why I'm including these additional statements concerning the fact that these YouTube videos exist concerning the gang stalking of police officers is because you, as American citizens, need to understand what's in them and the statements I'm going to make in this video right now. I want you to listen to very, very carefully to what I state. In the 2 YouTube videos concerning the learning disabled woman exposes the gang stalking of police officers, okay, you're going to flat out hear me state many things. And I'm not going to regurgitate what I stated in those videos, because then that would take up the entire time duration of the time frame that this video is going to be made of. So what I'm going to do is just make statements, and what you need to do is expand these statements on top of the statements that were made in those videos, so you can see the whole visual representation of what's actually being exposed in this video. Do what I tell you to do. And I guarantee you will be glad that you did. Okay, so first I'm going to explain to you a few of the victimizations that I endure every day, that are caught on my tape recorder and that have been caught on thousands of audio files, which can easily be erased or stolen by any corrupt maggot police officer that arrests me after a staged event, either at a wooded area along my route, and then he can claim I never had him and call me crazy concerning it, which is a method of gang stalking. But on at least anywhere between 4,000 to 5,000 separate audio files, I have caught massive, identical, repeated, most of the time non-stop repeated gang stalking verbal harassment propped up around me every day. But before I continue about that, let me state something here. About a week and a half ago, I started making statements in my blog stating that from now on, I'm going to state where I'm at when I'm at a place and am in my blog editing it. And I stated that I'm going to start doing that, so anybody who might be observing my blog in real time, because as I'm editing it, I'm also updating it. Meaning that once it's updated, anybody who might want to check in on my blog, okay, can bring up and see anything that's been updated up to that point during the day. So if I'm updating it, say, 10 times a day, on the days that I update it, they can see that I'm stating that I'm in the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf in University City, which is right adjacent to La Jolla in San Diego County, on Genesee and Governor Road, okay, and then I'm currently right now in real time being gang stalked by employees and people coming in acting as customers. You can come in privately, act like a customer, and wear a tape recorder and catch what I'm stating that I'm experiencing. And I stated that I was going to do that everywhere I go from now on. Ever since that day, about a week and a half ago when I put that in there, maybe 2 weeks now, that the verbal harassment has dropped from 100% to 20% in every place that I go except for the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf. It's dropped down to 20% at the North University San Diego Public Library. It's dropped down 20% at 2 separate Vons locations, and 20% to 30% on MTS bus routes and at wooded areas. So they obviously know. And my tape recorders prove it, because my tape recorders have reflected massive harassment in these places up to that point. You understand? So it's just that right there itself is going to prove that cyber surveillance has been a method of these crimes. Hold on a second. Now, so I wanted to interject that real fast, just to let you know, just in case you start noticing my blog if you live in San Diego or La Jolla, and when you go into it and you see those statements, and you decide to come into these places like Vaughn's or the libraries or MTS bus routes, and you see me and you get on the bus and you don't pick it up on any of your recording devices, that's why. So you can go to Google and type in cyber surveillance and GangStalking to see that they cyber surveil what you do and adjust their behaviors around it. Absolutely. Now, why am I making this video? Because one of the main methodologies that have been used against me in San Diego are two main ones outside of the staged events and shit, like in the staged arrest and bullshit like that. And these two main ones are connected to the sensitization technique of GangStalking, where two main aspects of that technique. One of them, and which is still ongoing to this day, where they will prop up people around me and have these people around me repeat specific physical gestures. Okay? That can be Googled and YouTube. So just go to Google and type in GangStalking sensitization methods repeating physical gestures. And extensively research it, and you'll see that thousands of other victims are exposing how they're being subject to it as well, and what they're being subject to. So extensively cannot be said any clearer. Research that. Okay? Then go to Google and type in sensitization methods, GangStalking, repeating words and phrases. Then go back to Google and type in GangStalking, sensitization methods, repeating identical words and phrases. Now, so, why am I bringing this to your attention? And remember what I stated in this video, that the only way that you're going to be able to make complete sense of what I'm about ready to state and what I just stated concerning these two sensitization techniques have to be incorporated within your understanding after you watch the two YouTube videos, which are titled Learning Disabled Woman Exposes the GangStalking of Police Officers. Now remember when I stated that after those videos were made, within the year of 2016, additional articles came out online that describe to a detail, okay, that absolutely validates what I stated in that video, in those videos. So, and they have been incorporated within my blog right underneath the video, the position in the blog where that video is incorporated at within it. So, make no mistake about it. So, now, as a result of victims of GangStalking, whether it be me or other victims who are being subjected to, because there's at least 30 different things that they will sensitize GangStalking victims to all over the country. It's happening, okay? Not just to me, obviously. So, you can obviously deduce by researching what I've stated, okay, that these criminally insane maggots are operating on a template of protocols and methods, because they're doing practically the same thing to every target all over the country. Okay? So you might think to yourself, well, why would this be going on? Well, I did incorporate some of the statements I'm going to make right now are incorporated within the two YouTube videos concerning the GangStalking of police officers. They are, go to YouTube and type in Julian McKinney and Greg Skamansky live leak broadcast. I'll repeat that. Go to YouTube and type in Greg Skamansky, and Julian McKinney live leak, L-E-A-K, broadcast. Okay? Now, she's an ex-Army intelligence officer. She clearly exposes in her online interview with Greg Skamansky that the people who are harassing GangStalking victims are the ones who are currently being neurally choreographed. She's referring to remote neural monitoring. They're being brainwashed. Now, if you look at what I've stated just so far, okay, when you look at also the YouTube video Timothy W. Bioethics Issues, he talks about brain entrainment and neurocognitive weapons. Neurocognitive weapons being additionally remote neural monitoring. Okay? So if you got hundreds of thousands of victims all over the United States being subject to GangStalking methods, which are many, they're not just the sensitization techniques, but in reference to the sensitization techniques, what they're stating is that they're being harassed by people in specific identical ways. Okay? So when you look at how Julian McKinney stated that the ones who are harassing the target are the ones who are currently being neurally choreographed, Well, when you look at these two sensitization techniques of repeating certain physical gestures, like hands to mouth, hands to nose, hands to face, okay, tapping the top of your head, stroking your hair back, taking your hat off, putting it back on, or taking your hat off, stroking your hair, putting the hat back on, tipping it, putting one arm behind the back, putting one hand in front of the stomach, and all these other physical gesture techniques, they're all identical, being exposed by thousands and thousands of Americans. Now, when you look at that statement, the ones who are currently harassing a gang-stalking victim are the ones who are currently being neurally choreographed, right? So I want you to think about this. When you look at what I've stated in this video, I have been subject to some of the most horrific, heinous criminalities that a human being on this planet can literally endure. And it's been repetitive for over a decade. Okay? When you realize how memory associations are connected to the sensitization techniques, okay, so that memory can be stimulated in order to let you know that when you're being harassed through sensitization techniques, that it's being done factually because of gang stalking, even though different people are used every day. Just hear me out. Okay? Now, if you are being victimized every day by the community being used against you and how they intentionally let you know it's because of gang stalking, and that's mostly in reference to when I state that they're getting around me and having people say gang stalk, suck my dick, gang stalk, oh my god, gang stalk, suck my you know what, and then laughing. Okay, those people have to have some kind of general idea that what they're doing stems from an actual type of crime. Okay, so when you look at how that crime in the target's mind is associated to all the prior victimizations they've endured, which are heinous to the extreme, it's very easy for a gang stalking victim to end up hating these people. You understand? Because they're victimized every day. Especially when they continually go back to environments that they need to go back to use Wi-Fi to expose what's happening to them and to prepare to go to lawyers. They end up having to go to places they're being gang stalked at, like Starbucks and the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf, okay, and the North University of San Diego Public Library. They gotta go there because they've been made homeless and had no other place to use Wi-Fi, okay? At least not when it comes, like, why is it that I can't use my phone to update my blog? Ain't that nice? How convenient, baby. Absolutely. Okay. Because they don't want the public to know in real time if somebody's come up and assaulted me today or tried to rob me. Okay. Or a police officer evicted me from my camping area and then I got to go someplace else and then I'm robbed and assaulted. They don't want that blog to be able to be updated in real time. They want you to have to wait until you go to Wi-Fi. Is this also another reason why they're additionally periodically jamming my phone? So I can't notify my Twitter account about anything I endured during the day, especially during a stage event, okay? Or it being jammed right before it. That's already happened. Hold on. Now, so, that's just a little tidbit of information that I decided to incorporate in this video in order to be able to incorporate it with your understanding. You can go to Google and type in computer hacking, cell phone hacking, illegal GPS tracking, okay, and gang stalking, and you will see truth. So, I want you to listen to what I'm stating to you and what I have stated to you. Can you imagine the extreme cultivation of hate dissemination that targeted individuals are forced to endure every day? Okay, because this is a crime that intentionally wants you to hate the ones who are being used and the ones who are managing it, because it's all about abuse. Okay. Now, gang stalking victims are also being neurally choreographed as they're being abused. Okay, so you can go to Google and type in monitors being used for neural manipulation. Okay, and even gang stalking mixed in with that keyworded at Google. Have you ever noticed how if you thoroughly do your research online, you'll notice that every single gang stalking victim all over the country is either using their own computer or library computers to expose what's happening to them. So if you went to Google, including university library computers, so if you went to Google and YouTube and typed in how computer monitors are being extremely implicated in being one of the apparatuses being used for the neural choreographing. Remote neural monitoring is not just about monitoring you neurally from a remote distance, it's also about using monitors. So if you're being subjected to massive gang stalking, overt sensitization methods being brought about against you while you're using your computer, what's staring you in the face as you're experiencing the emotions from the abuse? Your monitor. So are they neurally choreographing brain states and emotional clusters that are being experienced as the abuse is being concerning the abuse in real time, so the monitor can choreograph the abuse in the brain states that are excited? So I strongly suggest you Google that. Now you can go to the YouTube channel Live Leak. I think it's called Live Leak or Live Leak Project. He did a video on that a few months ago. I think it was in May or June. So just look for it, you'll find it. And it's also incorporated within some of my tweets as well. And I was already exposing that going all the way back to 2010. Hold on. Okay. Once a person by the name of Lucinda brought it to my attention in a Google group forum post. Okay, so anyways, what we have to also understand here is that 90% of the time when I'm in businesses or libraries and people are harassing me, they either got an earbud in their ear or they're staring into the home screen of their phone or into a computer monitor. You'll understand that when you watch The Learning Disabled Woman Exposes the Gang Stalking of Police Officers. So if you have individuals who are mocking you around you while they're verbally harassing you and saying gang stalk, suck my dick, and suck dick over and over and over and over and over again, sometimes literally nonstop, and then laughing about it, while the rest of your life has been completely destroyed because of the same crime, do you honestly think that you're not going to process any emotions from that? Do you honestly think that any brain states are not going to be excited? Well, of course they are, because they want the victim to hate them and the abuse, okay? Because hate, anger, fear, anxiety, depression, okay, panic attacks, all the negative emotional states and brain states that can be stimulated from this abuse is the brain being monitored as this abuse is being experienced. But also know, though, that when you watch the YouTube videos, Learning Disabled Woman Exposes the Gang Stalking of Police Officers, there are 2 videos, okay, you're going to clearly be able to see that, what I expose concerning how the individuals concerning what they're told to do, physical gestures and language, repeating words and phrases, have been brain mapped. Meaning that the psycho maggots that are responsible for the remote neural monitoring choreographing, the actual brain mapping, know the area of the brain that's dedicated to language and the arm and hand movements, physical gestures. And these are the very exact same things that individuals are told to do around gang stalking victims. And remember what I said concerning Julian McKinney stating that the ones who are harassing the target are the ones who are currently being neurally choreographed. Well, how could you neurally choreograph somebody who's just standing there minding their own business? No, they want to remotely neurally choreograph you as you are experiencing elevated brain states, feelings, emotional clusters, thinking patterns, physical actions like repeating certain physical gestures, and the language area of your brain, including your subvocal speech. So is this why it's all over the internet that hundreds of thousands of gang stalking victims, okay, have endured decades of this type of harassment by other human beings who are told to repeat physical gestures and words and phrases? You understand? So me as a Christian, it is my spiritual, moral, and Christian and human being duty to say to myself to try and keep my worldview in line, okay, in line concerning what's actually going on. See, I would never want anybody, except for the wild, criminally insane, demented, sadistic animals who are perpetrating the technological, biological, and neurological manipulations towards gang stalking victims. Those are the filthy horrors I would love to see put in a jail cell and literally tortured for 30 years non-stop in a 6-by-8-foot cell with this technology so they can have an understanding of what the fuck they're doing to people for decades at a time every day. The only way that they could ever know the depth and scope of what they're doing is to do it to them. Now, the ones that they're using for the community-based harassment, I would never wish that on them, not even for a nanosecond. Even the ones who are being propped up around me to say, suck my dick, suck on my dick, suck dick, gang stalk, and then laugh about it, because the goal is to literally mentally abuse you. literally. And abuse does kill nerve cells, brain cells, absolutely. But I would still never wish any of this victimization to happen to them. And so if they're being remotely neurally choreographed as they're doing this harassment, they're doing it, they're told what to do in specific ways so specific areas of the brain can be brain mapped. Now they might mock you and laugh at you and even involve themselves in a staged event towards you that causes results and then effects from the results that lead you closer to the exploitation. Well, is it because they've already been brain mapped and are being brain stimulated to engage in these behaviors? So it's my duty as a Christian, as an experienced, educated, targeted individual to inform the community about what's really going on. Because I would never want a 19 or 20-year-old who's not even smart enough yet or even educated, who's not educated yet, to know this entire scope of why they're being used. And then eventually that person is sucked into a human trafficking ring by the time they get to be 22, 25, 30, through gang stalking methods that they did not know are perpetrated against gang stalking victims because they were brain mapped. Police officers as well. Okay, absolutely. See, because, can you imagine being a human being and having every aspect of your life completely destroyed? Completely destroyed. Homelessness is created of you. Student loan coercement, where they're going to try and use that for legal entrapment. Absolutely, including targeting the money I got on me now and will have up to that date. Okay? How they're going to target my food stamps so they can claim I can never file for them again. So they can claim later that I can never file for them again. Okay? The point being is that what you got to understand here is that I know what's happened to me. Okay? Do you honestly think that since I also know these other things concerning about how the ones who are currently being neurally choreographed are the ones who are harassing you, knowing that they're going to be taken down the same road that they took me down and other targets, I have a duty. I have a civil duty, I have a moral duty, I have a Christian duty, and a righteous duty to tell the truth. Because most everyday people, anybody can be a jerk at any time. Anybody can be an asshole at any time. It's just the way human beings can be. Okay? And if they're told to do something by a friend, a coworker, if they're told that if they do a certain thing, they'll get a promotion or more hours at work or gain a short-term monetary gain and they're behind on rent, or for whatever reason they're doing it, even if it's just a punk doing it for kicks, they still don't deserve to be remotely neurally choreographed so they can be brain mapped so they can then later be exploited. Because this technology literally takes away your free will and your choices. Especially, as well, dangerous to police who are being remotely neurally choreographed. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, I want you to understand who has harassed me since I've been in San Diego, California. Every business I've been to, every university campus I've been to. So if you ever watch these videos and you see me exposing how UCSD biomedical library staff, okay, including office staff engaged in these behaviors, well, what's going to happen to them one day? They used to sit right behind their computer monitors at their desk and repeat, "Oh my God, gang stalk," and laugh about it as they're sitting in front of the monitor. Biomedical library staff, UCSD campus, between the years of 2012 up and through around the late 2014. So did Price Center employees at UCSD, food court employees within the different businesses within the food court at the Price Center at UCSD, and Club Med restaurant employees and staff and students. And I'll repeat that, including Club Med restaurant employees, faculty, and students engaged in it as well. Now, you don't necessarily also have to be sitting in front of a monitor or having your phone home screen in front of your face as you're doing these things, because Wi-Fi radio signals are also being used. I strongly suggest you look at what's in the title of this Periscope video. Okay. So, Rouse employees at 2 different locations. The Rouse location off of Friars Mission Center, off of Friars and Fresno Road in San Diego, and Rouse employees off of La Jolla Villa Square Drive, Starbucks employees off of La Jolla Villa Square Drive, the Island Restaurant employees in the same plaza as Ross and Starbucks, Best Buy employees in that same plaza, and Ross employees. Also AMC Theater movie employees in that same plaza, as well as some of the Trader Joe's employees within that same plaza. Okay, MTS bus drivers have played an absolute role in that gang stalking methodologies of me. Absolutely, absolutely, make no mistake about it. So have security guards of all these places that I have mentioned. So all my descriptions can be Googled. I'm going to give you an example right in your face concerning how prevalent these expeditions are. So you can immediately see that when I state that all these different businesses have engaged in gang stalking sensitization methods towards me, so you can see that it's an absolute truth, is to not only research sensitization methods in reference to the ways I've described them, but you're also going to realize other sensitization methods as well. But I want you to go to Google, when you get done watching this video, when you got time, and go to Google and type in the name of any 10 well-known businesses that you know of, that you can think off at the top of your head, that's in the United States. McDonald's, Arby's, Taco Bell, Jack in the Box, in the name of any well-known grocery store chain, Macy's, Sports Authority, Home Depot, and so on and so forth. Type in those names to gang stalking. Type in at least 10 to 15 different names pertaining to 10 well-known businesses that you can think of in any state to gang stalking, and look what comes up, including Walmart. Then go back and do the same thing, and then add to the keywords North Carolina, California, New York, Florida, Michigan. Like, in other words, go to Google and type in Walmart gang stalking Michigan, Walmart gang stalking Florida, Walmart gang stalking Texas, and look at what comes up. So when you see what comes up through and by researching at least 10 to 15 well-known business names in the way that I just described, I think you will easily be able to conclude how I can state that Best Buy, the Island Restaurant, Ralph's, Starbucks, Trader Joe employees, and AMC movie theater employees engaged in these methodologies, including security staff of that plaza off of La Jolla Villa Square Drive in La Jolla, California, including the businesses across the street, CVS, the post office, okay, Whole Foods Market employees, FedEx employees, and the radio shack that used to be there, and the Peach Coffee Shop that just closed down that was in there, which is right across the street from the plaza at La Jolla Villa Square Drive. So if what I stated in this video is a factual reality, which ex-U.S. military intelligence officers are saying, Joey McKinney, okay, and which is also all over the internet pertaining to links that came out, articles that came out, that absolutely completely corroborates my statements that I made in the Learning Disabled Woman Exposes the Gang Stalking of Police Officers, I think you will clearly conclude that you really honestly think for 1 minute a nationwide crime that's going on concerning how people are being harassed in some of the most bizarre, outside of the normalcy range, okay, do you honestly think that all these peculiar behaviors are being perpetrated against gang stalking victims for no reason? You gotta think. Think to yourself, if you went to Walmart and then Sears and then the bank and then Jack in the Box and then Vaughn's grocery store, all these different places in one day, and you go to these different places and you're subject to, okay, individuals repeating the same exact identical words and phrases, different people doing it in the same way, laughing as they're doing it, or right afterwards, okay, and then also other people engaging in physical gestures. Do you honestly think for 1 second that that is normal behavior? Of course not. So whenever people are told to do something, it's got a motive. It's not just about victimizing the victim, because if they really wanted to victimize the victim, they could stage an event today, have the target arrested, set them up in jail, and incarcerate their ass for years on end. And let's see if that happens. And I'm talking about me. I'm saying that if they really wanted to go after the target and bring them down to the point of complete and absolute destitution, they could do that in a week. Absolutely, because the filthy maggot cops are involved in this, and the corrupt syndicated judges. Absolutely, they could do that in 1 week. They could do it in 2 days. Literally. So why would they leave a victim continually victimized in these strange, peculiar victimizations every day? Hold on. You need to think smart. So fellow Americans and fellow La Jollans and fellow San Diegoans, if you run across this video in my blog or within this Periscope account, and I'm going to upload the same video to my YouTube account, Higgins Williams, when you run across this, and if you know of any of these people that I've mentioned in this, and that's just including in the immediate La Jolla area. That's not including all the other businesses I've been into in University City, okay, and when I used to live up the Friars and Frazee Road in San Diego. You need to think smart. If you're a family member of anybody that I've ever exposed and you hate me, you better really understand what's going on here so you can hate the right people, okay? So in closing, I want you to think about this as well. Say that if you have a daughter or a sister or a mother who is raped, listen to what I got to tell you here. Think this in your mind honestly. Say if you got a mother, sister, or a daughter that was raped because of gang stalking. Then that rape victim was thrown out on the street, brutalized in massive additional ways, periodically, and harassed every day, everywhere they went, okay, through the same crime that was responsible for the rape. Do you honestly think that it would not be hard for the brain to differentiate who's friend or foe? You understand? Absolutely. Because of the way that the brain operates. It stores memory associations. First, the victim was raped. Then they were intentionally made known that the rape was connected to gang stalking. And then all the subsequent assaults, the homelessness that was created through gang stalking, and the nonstop everyday harassment that is perpetrated against the target through gang stalking, okay, do you honestly think that the victim is not going to mostly, okay, because the brain is being excited, intentionally excited to remember that they're a victim of the same crime that had them raped, okay? So do you honestly think that they would not be pissed off as a result of continually being entrapped in this crime every day, in the same victimization? Of course they're going to fucking expose who's been involved in it. But I want you to also know these additional truths. The ones who are being used because they're being lied to creatively. They're told what to do against the target and how to do it and when to do it. You understand? So it's my duty to tell the truth. So if you have any family members that are working in La Jolla within the businesses that I've mentioned, okay, including the Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf off of Governor Road and Genesee Avenue, the Carl's Jr., that Bonds that's in the same plaza, the Rite Aid, the library that's right next door to Carl's Jr. Now you know the truth, and I strongly suggest that you extensively research what I'm stating. Flat out. I would never want anybody who just harassed me through as a result of them being duped, okay, to experience what gang stalking victims experience. And if they're bringing brain math, they will experience it one day. It's my duty as an American and as a Christian to expose what I know. Be smart. Research what I've stated in this video, and you will see truth. Alright, so my blog, again, is attached to my Twitter profile, okay, account. It's attached to my Twitter account profile. That Twitter account is at HIGGINSGGGG. Exposing Truth is the name of the account. I strongly suggest you go to that Twitter account, look at the blog attached to the profile, and make sure you remember that blog, a lot of what's in that blog is about the harassment, okay? That's being exposed mainly to prove that it's occurring and the time duration, how long it's been going on, to protect my ass. I got a right to protect my ass just like you do too, okay? The point being is that you need to be able to see other things that are in that blog. You better do it. Alright, I gotta go. I'm in San Diego, California. My name is Leslie Williams. I made this video to inform and expose the truth. Now, as far as all you filthy maggot, criminally insane, demented, psychopathic animal whores, okay, who are actually perpetrating this crime, especially at the technological level, and I already know it's all over the internet, being exposed by thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and so on 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 of Americans all over the country, that their cyber activity is absolutely being monitored by these wild, demented animals. That's what I got for them. Absolutely. You would not believe. You just would not believe what I know. Alright, I gotta go. I'm in San Diego, California. Thank you for listening, everybody, and you better research what I've stated. Thank you for listening.